Welcome back to the CBU Soccer Stadium in Riverside. I'm Travis Fanotti. A packed house tonight for senior night. Always special to celebrate the Lancer seniors. The Schumacher's ready to go, and we're underway. Thanks so much for spending your Saturday evening with us on the WAC. Make it the ESPN Plus tonight, beg your pardon, on ESPN Plus. Well, this game is for positioning. The Lancers clinched a WAC tournament spot here on Thursday, 6-0 against Sam Houston State, their most emphatic victory of the season. The Lancers are 5-2-3 in 5th place, 18 points. New Mexico State is tied with Utah Tech for 3rd place, 6-2-2, 20 points apiece. So the Lancers could potentially end up in 3rd place for the tournament, and they would be the top seed on day one. The top 2 seeds, of course, get a bye into the semifinals. As the Lancers' first attack, and the cross is cleared away by Landy Williams. New Mexico State, obviously having a good year, looking for their 10th win overall. They have won 2 straight, as have the Lancers coming into tonight, so something could give. One of these teams could lose their 2-match winning streak heading into the WAC tournament at Seattle. New Mexico State is right at the ship, so to speak. They were on the lower end of the WAC a couple of years ago. They have been able to build their program again, and they find themselves in the WAC tournament. Taylor Summit plays to the far side. A nice move by Danielle Gordon, one of the Lancers' 7 seniors. Frida Murrieta, who scored her first career goal here on Thursday against Sam Houston State. It was a beauty, bar down in the goal to our left. It was not touched by New Mexico State, so it'll be a goal kick for McKenna Gottschalk. Gottschalk has played every single minute for New Mexico State this season. .88 goals against average and 8 shutouts. Gottschalk second in the WAC, one behind number 1 in shutout. She is 4th in saves, 4th in save percentage at .827, and then 3rd in goals against. It's a real good keeper matchup tonight, along with Nua Schumacher. And it's just kept in by Sophia Beerworth, but then that hit the ball attendant there on the far side. A moment of levity early on in the 3rd minute here in Riverside. When you throw in for the Lancers, and the ball attendant's all right. Good to see. The Lancers' 6 goals on Thursday was a season high. It was the most they had scored since beating Chicago State 7-0 in early 2021. The shot is stopped by Gottschalk. Gottschalk's going to be tough to solve here tonight. But that was a real good look for the Lancers. We'll have moments. Take a look at our impact players. Brought to you by Dutton Cadillac. Lauren White, 2 goals on Thursday for 3 on the season. And Jana Heinen, such a terrific defender for the Lancers. She really shined on the back line. Loma McNeese, the leading scorer for New Mexico State. She comes in 4th in the conference in goals. And McKenna Gottschalk, the strong keeper, already went over her numbers. Those will be real tough players to contend with tonight for the Lancers. Loma McNeese, 9 goals on the year. She has been practically impossible to stop over the last little while for the Aggies. New Mexico State, a big reason why they've had a good year is their home record, 6-0-2. Well, they haven't lost back in Las Cruces. But on the road, 3-4-1, middling numbers for the Lancers. Done real well at home as well, 5-1-3, including being now 4-0-1 in WAC play. So they have not lost here at home in conference. Nice pass up the wing, but it's just out of the reach of Malia Serdon. Ball stolen. Trying to get around the defender, Ari Coronado. They wrap each other up. That's a foul on Coronado, the senior. A tough break for the Lancers. Meanwhile, tracking it down, Sydney Johnson, the freshman forward. Johnson's cross finds Valenti. Her shot stopped by Schumacher. Oh, that was a good strike from Gia Valenti, a junior midfielder. She's a Bakersfield native. Schumacher read it perfectly. Schumacher coming in a 1-1, 9 goals against. Gottschalk's .88. A 6-3-4 record for Schumacher, the senior, graduate student. First year as a Lancer, transfer from Cal State Fullerton, a native of Torrance. And for Schumacher, her 4th straight start. That goes the other way. Now our keys to the match, brought to you by Jen Send. Keep the streak. The Lancers coming into tonight now a 431-minute shutout streak. They have 4 shutouts in a row. And for Schumacher personally, a 249-minute shutout streak as Schumacher comes out to grab that one. The Lancers look to keep that streak alive, and a big reason they need to do that is the great foot of Loma McNeese, so they've got to limit her. And for New Mexico State, they did give up a season high in their last match at Grand Canyon, 24 shots against. They cannot afford to do that tonight. Against the Lancers, they'll make them pay. So Mexico State will look to be much more stout defensively. Here comes White, and her shot deflects, and Gottschalk comes out to snag it. Well, there's White, the star of the match on Thursday against Sam Houston. Headed along, then bodied down by McNeese, so her first touch. Couldn't do anything with it. Quickly the other way, Gordon. It's picked off nicely. Then Gordon runs into Beerworth. Beerworth gets the better of the play. As the ball bounces back and forth, picked up by White. Lead pass is behind Sardon, and it's picked by Gottschalk. This has been a one-sided series since the Lancers moved up to Division I. The Lancers are 5-1, all time against New Mexico State. The Lancers won the first 4 games. They lost 2 seasons ago, but then won last year in Irvine, 1-0 in overtime. As Morgan Witz had the game winner at Great Park. White with the left foot, wide. White picking up right where she left off on Thursday. Has already had a couple of opportunities. The Lancers, 7 seniors: Coronado, Gordon, Schumacher, Soul. They are all in the starting lineup. Also, Erin Gallagher, who won't play tonight. She has an injury to her knee and hopes to play soccer again after recovering from her knee injury. And a foul on New Mexico State. Good to see Gallagher out there in the senior ceremony pre-first touch. Also Madison Sonerholm and Carly Weeks, the other 2 seniors who we'll most likely see later on. Well, the foul was on Sydney Johnson, as that's headed away by Ormson. Stays with the Lancers. Just an incredible streak the Lancers have been on defensively. Before the 6-0 drubbing to Sam Houston State, they won at Utah Tech 1-0. 0-0 tie at Southern Utah and a 0-0 tie against Abilene Christian here. The last goal the Lancers have given up was in the 19th minute 5 matches ago. Here against Tarleton State, the Lancers won that match 3-1. But ever since, it's been a clean sheet for CBU. 431 straight minutes. The Lancers playing their best soccer at the right time. A significant win on Thursday, a program first, going to the WAC tournament. Pass is just ahead of Marietta and scooped up by Gottschalk. And Kristen St. Clair continues to go with a hot hand and free to Marietta. Lancers have had a couple of opportunities to get the ball right in the box, but the passing has just been a little bit off. See if they can correct that. Getting to it first is Maya Hammock, midfielder slash defender. Hammock. And a throw in for her. Thalia Chavarria. And the cross is out of the reach of Chacon. Chacon scored in New Mexico State's last match at Grand Canyon. So the Aggies won that match 2-1. Game before that, they won at Sam Houston 1-0. The Aggies also playing their best soccer at the right time. They're 5-1-0 over their last 6. Two hot teams. Sir Don gives it up to Williams. The Lancers play tight on that far side. And a whistle on CBU. A 12th minute free kick for Valenti. Vuvuzelas once again out here in Riverside. A great atmosphere. Schumacher comes out to punch it away, and the whistle goes. A foul on New Mexico State, and that free kick goes for naught. Schumacher aggressively out. Schumacher is second in save percentage, whereas Gottschalk is fourth. Schumacher is still first in saves per game in the WAC, just under 6 now at about 5.8. And nobody makes more saves per match than Noah Schumacher, and second in saves overall with 82, whereas Gottschalk is fourth. And two of the better keepers in the WAC. Played by Valenti. Quickly back across. That was off of the head of the defender. An easy save for Schumacher. A nice job by Heinen to get in the way there, deflect that strike. As one of our impact players, Jana Heinen, has a foul call. That's going to be a yellow on Hammock. Aggressively went into Lauren White. White turns on the Jets. And Hammock with that big tug of the jersey earns her first card of the season. McKenna Ray takes the free kick. New Mexico State, that's their 21st yellow card of the season. They do not have a red card this year. The Lancers have 28 yellows and still just that one red card. Ray goes right at Gottschalk and cleared away. And a foul on CBU as a result. A precarious moment for the Aggies. They're able to clear it away after that punch out from Gottschalk. There is already one final tonight in the WAC. Stephen F. Austin beat Abilene Christian 4-1. Well, Stephen F. Austin is eliminated, though, from the tournament. They have 15 points now, one behind Grand Canyon. Southern Utah is at Seattle tonight. Southern Utah has 14 points in 8th place. They are 2 points behind Grand Canyon. So if Sam Houston can pull the upset at GCU and Southern Utah wins at Seattle, again, not easy, but if they do it, then it'll be Southern Utah that gets that last spot over Grand Canyon. If Grand Canyon earns a tie and Southern Utah wins, they'll be tied with 17 points, and then they'll go to a tiebreaker. Meanwhile, Utah Valley's looking to lock down the #1 seed over Seattle. Utah Valley has 25 points, Seattle has 23. So Utah Valley, if they win, they'll be the #1 seed. Seattle trying to overtake them. Utah Valley hosts Utah Tech. White played too far ahead of herself, and Brooke Schultz the other way. There's some good speed and a trip up. Well, Michaela Soul. That was all body. Looked like Beerworth. Yep. Beerworth's all right. So lots to be decided tonight. The final day of the regular season for women's soccer. Stephen F. Austin, despite that win today, just didn't have enough to get back into the top 6. Here's a dangerous chance. Now the Lancers survive. Again, Beerworth. Shoots, stopped by Schumacher. Schumacher in great position. Shots early on are 3-2 in favor of New Mexico State, and Schumacher's had to make 2 saves. New Mexico State has been accurate with their shots. That's a big takeout in the box by Chavarria, but play continues as Johnson hits the deck for New Mexico State. The Aggies fortunate that was not a penalty kick. We play on. 50-50 ball headed back by Jalen Ramirez. Ramirez again with the head. And she picks up the loose ball. Plays to White. White tries to go wide on Hammock. She's helped out. Valenti. The center stripe. Taylor Summit plays it back from where it came. Megan Ormson to the far side. Summit again steps in the open lane. One touched by Coronado. It's out of a reach. Throw in for the Aggies. Another throw in for Beerworth. Beerworth from Montreal. A couple of international players. Play is calmed a little bit, as there is McNeese, number 14, the big scorer. Outside bid, Schumacher punches it out of harm's way. Schumacher razor sharp tonight. Good look for Valenti. That was placed perfectly in the top portion of the net. Schumacher just beats her. But Schumacher made 2 saves in the first half on Thursday against Sam Houston. The Lancers were up 3-0, and then they brought in the backup, Michaela O'Brien. O'Brien only had to make 1 save to get the combined shutout. She played the entire second half. Important kick for Chavarria to get it away from White. Meanwhile, Soul draws a foul. And that's a yellow. Sydney Johnson issued a caution. Well, that's Johnson's first yellow card of the season, and the second of the match for the Aggies. The arm and the tug. The hold and then the tug on the sweater. So individually, Schumacher and O'Brien still 4 shutouts and 2 shutouts apiece, where she don't get credit individually for a shared shutout. Well, Johnson heads over. No substitution for him. Maya Gonzalez comes in. Gonzalez from Odessa, Texas. Freshman forward. '20th minute here in Riverside. So the Lancers try and overtake potentially New Mexico State and Utah Tech for 3rd place. That's the goal. It's certainly exciting to see a Lancer team qualifying for the WAC tournament for the first time. They're the first team to do it out of everyone. The men's soccer team has yet to officially qualify, but it's looking good for them. The Lancers hoping both soccer programs will be able to qualify for the tournament. The men's team is hosting the WAC tournament. McNeese, she is swarmed by Lancers. She has scored a goal, McNeese, in 4 straight matches. There's a foul on the Lancers that time. That is obviously very tough to do. Beerworth run into by Soul for the foul. Beerworth has been involved. McNeese lines up to her left there, number 14. Headed away by Gordon, the senior. Hammock, that ball was just too high for her. Williams calmly back to Gottschalk. Some Lancer alums here tonight as well. They accompanied some of the seniors out there. Erin Gallagher was accompanied by Amy Kirk and Kiara Gaines. Danielle Gordon was accompanied by Amy Aquino, as well as Ashlyn Benson. So right back in the game now, Johnson. A short break for her. Good to see these Lancer alums.
Returning for your Lancers, number 20, Carly Weeks.
Well, Carly Weeks, the senior, checks in. Weeks replaces Murrieta. So the Aggies look to strike. Great defensive work from Ramirez. Schumacher out to grab it. Lancers a quick counter, Sardon. Watched by Williams. Ray into the box, but not handled cleanly. Nice pressure from Ramirez, but New Mexico State still with it. Outside shot, stopped by Schumacher. Bianca Chacon, a real good look with the right foot. That looked like it was going on the cage. Not from that angle, but from our angle, that looked to be on goal. 5-3 the shots favor New Mexico State. And that's Schumacher's third save, whereas Gottschalk has yet to make a save. The Aggies are surging. Body down by Johnson, who just came back in, knocked away by Ray. '25th minute. Turns into the 26th. So far, pretty even Steven. The Lancers would love to get some more offense on Gottschalk as that shot goes well over the cage. A trio of Lancers check in. From left to right, Marcella Brooks, Kaylee Hauk, and Natalia Castro. Picked off by Valenti. Couldn't do much with it. As Hammock watches it go out. And some fresh legs for the Lancers. Marcella Brooks, good forward, the junior. And she picks up the ball. Hauk can't get there ahead of Beerworth, and Gottschalk just able to clear it away. Didn't look to be too dangerous at first. A nice job by Hauk to make Gottschalk clear it out quickly. Castro, the other fresh player, to Brooks, and now Hauk shakes a tackle. Hauk leaves for Brooks, but it's curled wide. Well, the fresh legs have done the Lancers some good. Hauk, nice move. A bit of a broken play. Not a bad idea by Brooks, just to fire that thing on. This is the Lancers' first corner. Just the second corner kick of the match. They go the short route. Hauk's pass, an errant one. Beerworth sends ahead, and an important header by Summit. Cindy Johnson could have had a one-on-one opportunity. Here's McNeese tripped up by Castro. McNeese had that shot moments ago that went over the cage. That was her second shot of the match. The Lancers so far so good. Have held Loma McNeese in check. Header from Brooks. Williams back into the box. Gordon and Hauk try and track it down. The shot goes wide from Valenti. The Lancers have been blessed with great keepers over the last few years. Of course, Romy, Salvador, the all wax selection. Schumacher, a great transfer pickup from Cal State Fullerton. Well, Schumacher, 12 shutouts with the Titans over her career. Beerworth to Williams. Have a bicycle kick while standing on the turf, if you will, from Beerworth. An effective strike. And the Aggies get out of trouble. 2-on-3 the other way. McNeese cleared away by Heinen. Easy pickings that time for Jana Heinen, the Netherlands native. A dangerous throw-in area for the Aggies. This time it'll be a corner. An even better situation now for New Mexico State. They've had 2 of the 3 corner kicks. Brooks the header. Hammock right back on goal. Schumacher's there. Hammock right into Schumacher. And again, not a bad idea. Strike it as quickly on goal as possible. Not the most well-placed ball. Well, half of New Mexico State's shots have been on goal. 4 of the 8. As they continue to get chances. Foul on Ormson moments ago. Free kick from Heinen. Soul gets back up. Shot stopped by Gottschalk. First save of the night for McKenna Gottschalk. Gottschalk from Broomfield, Colorado. Transfer from Daytona State College, which is a junior college. Hauk is upended by Beerworth. Kaylee Hauk has been very involved ever since coming in a few minutes ago. And Beerworth runs Hauk over. Good read by Beerworth, and she's got the ball. Valenti plays to Johnson. Johnson looks for some space. Gordon steps in the open lane. Hauk settles. Return feed to Gordon. The senior transfer from the University of West Virginia. And across, deflects off of Chavarria. Second chance clears it away. Brooks weighs her options. The long lob. Oh, what a job by the Lancers. You get that second look at it. What a pass from Brooks. And Serdon tried to find Castro, but not to be. The Lancers were ruled offside anyway, so it wouldn't have counted. A tough break for CBU. Serdon again. Chavarria wins that battle. Schultz ahead. Could be a break for Johnson. Ray, though, gets back but falls down. And that one's on Johnson. Terrific effort from McKenna Ray. The Aggies don't even get a shot out of it. Brooks, as behind the play, Hammock made a little tug. A foul on Hammock. Remember, she's already picked up a yellow card. An undisciplined foul by Maya Hammock away from the ball. And actually, they're going to give that against the... That's on the Lancers. Serdon, beg your pardon. Johnson shoots, and Schumacher makes another save. Castro injured on the play. I beg your pardon, it was a foul on Serdon on Hammock. And led to that chance for the Aggies. Natalia Castro heads off. A substitution is Syra Valdez, a sophomore midfielder. Comes in for Castro. Trio of Aggies wait to check in as well. Actually, a foursome looks like. And one Lancer. And they'll wait for the next opportunity. Schumacher now 5 saves. And a foul. Played quickly to Valenti. Hammock. Another reach of Johnson. Ray's in a bit of a tough spot. Johnson trips her up. certainly in contact by Sidney Johnson. Ray loses her cleat. So, clock stopped as an equipment issue there in the corner. The New Mexico State started off conference play with a couple of ties, 1-1 against Utah Valley, 1-1 against Seattle. The two top teams right now in the WAC, and New Mexico State able to get a couple of points out of those matches. Big win at UTRGV 1-0. They lost to Stephen F. Austin 1-0. And then started their streak of winning 5 of 6. Wins against Tarleton State 4-0. Abilene Christian 1-0. Southern Utah 2-0. It was a 3-match shutout streak for New Mexico State in that time. The one loss at Utah Tech 3-1, but right back in the winning ways at Sam Houston 1-0 in their last match at Grand Canyon 2-1. Meanwhile, the Lancers 3-0-3 over their last 6. 3 wins now and 3 ties. Kind of a frustrating stretch for the Lancers offensively, but the good goalkeeping from Schumacher and O'Brien, strong defense, led to ties. The Lancers kept accumulating points. That's what led to them clinching a spot in the WAC tournament. Beerworth able to get just a little bit of space out of Hauk. All the players now check in. Oglesby comes in for the Lancers for the first time. Bella Garcia, Maya Gonzalez, and Toddy Johnson, or German rather. Oglesby scored on Thursday against Sam Houston. It was a header. A lot of fresh legs for New Mexico State. Their final trip here to Riverside. They'll be moving conferences next year, going to the Conference USA, along with Sam Houston. But the last time we'll see New Mexico State here, at least as a member of the WAC. So again, Oglesby, Castro, and Summer Allen check in for the Lancers. Meanwhile, it's Jenna Johannes, Toddy German, Maya Gonzalez for New Mexico State. Here is Gonzalez. Cross pinballs around, comes out. Well, the shot from German negated as the whistle went. '40th minute now. So the Aggies were offside. Oglesby just out of the reach of Hauk. It'll be a goal kick for Gottschalk. Hannah Draper checks in for the first time, junior midfielder. Beerworth, a well-deserved rest. Weeks gets her body in the way. Last touched by the Lancers. Another substitution. It's Megan Sheehan comes in for Schultz. Sheehan, a senior forward. Sheehan's a transfer from Middle Tennessee, an Ireland native. Sheehan, no goals yet as an Aggie. They get a little bit more offense out there with a forward. Hauk. And Williams gets back first. Brooks right on her. That Lancer steps on the ball. Oh, Hauk is taken out. It's the biggest collision we've seen tonight. Hauk, no worse for wear. Oh boy, that was a major collision. A foul on Draper. Ball too high, but Oglesby picks it up. And her shot stopped by Gottschalk. Rebound, scores! Oglesby opens the scoring in the 42nd minute. This was all Elizabeth Oglesby. Gets her own rebound and chips it past Gottschalk. Well, goals in back-to-back matches now for Oglesby, her third of the season. There were two Aggies there and just couldn't clear it away. Well, Oglesby, the freshman defender, her third goal. And that came off of the foul from Draper. That obviously ends up being a very costly foul. Soul. A foul on her. Dalia Chavarria on the free kick. Hammock back up the middle. Just too many Lancers in the way. Weeks clears it ahead. German. Good short passes by New Mexico State, but not a lot's getting accomplished. But now the ball comes free. Nice move by Gonzalez. Her cross goes off the body of, guess who, Heinen.
There is 1 minute remaining in the half.
We're in the 45th minute. Third corner for New Mexico State. Comes right back to Hammock. And they'll have another one. Mexico State's got 4 of the 5 corner kicks tonight. Could be the last chance for the Aggies. Schumacher gets her arms on it, but they score. But now it's waved off. Does that still count? Well, that still counts in the 45th minute. New Mexico State strikes right back on back-to-back corners. And Chacon looked like got her foot on it last. The Lancers protested, but it does count. And what a huge goal for New Mexico State. That ends the shutout streak, unfortunately.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5.
475 minutes in between goals against for the Lancers. What a streak it was, but it's finally broken. So 2 goals in the final 3 minutes, and we are 1-1 at halftime. Back in a moment on ESPN+. Seattle. So the Thunderbirds in their first season in the WAC do not go to the WAC tournament. Tarleton shuts out UTRGV 2-0. Those 2 teams will not be going to the tournament, and Utah Valley blanks Utah Tech 2-0. So Seattle wins, but Utah Valley also wins. Utah Valley will be the number 1 seed. 28 points they finish with. Seattle will be the number 2 seed. They'll still get a bye as they host the WAC tournament. They finish with 26 points. So number 1 and number 2 are set. Utah Tech lost, so a chance for New Mexico State with 1 point to earn the number 3 spot. Then Utah Tech would be 4, the Lancers would be 5. And GCU, well, it depends on what they do tonight. They could rise as much as to the number 5 spot. GCU and Sam Houston are underway. They started the same time as the Lancers. CBU wanting to finish as high as they can in the standings. And they could potentially finish number 3 with the Utah Tech loss. All they need to do is win tonight. That's stopped by Schumacher. And the Lancers will be the number 3 seed. A good early save off of the corner from Schumacher. Leaps up to get it. Now 5-1 the corners in favor of the Aggies. And cleared away by Hammock. Good battle. Gordon taps it ahead for Murrieta, who comes back in to start this second half. Murrieta runs out of space. Good defense from Landy Williams. Just nowhere for Murrieta to place that ball. Both players, a little bit of a shove on the other, but there wasn't much there. Goal kick for McKenna Gottschalk. Looking for her 10th victory of the season tonight, of course, as are the Aggies. Gottschalk again. But a back and forth. Good strike from Bella Garcia. Played off of the body of German. And a friendly fire that time for New Mexico State. Seoul's got some time. Should mention that Utah Tech qualifies for the WAC tournament as well for the first time. They're a third-year transitioning team, but there's a new rule in the WAC that transitioning teams can qualify for the WAC tournament. And of course, if you're a Lancer fan, you say that's very unfair because CVU had to wait 5 years to do it. But Utah Tech and Tarleton State are now eligible, and Utah Tech qualifies for the WAC tournament for the first time. Shot well over top. Way too much air underneath it that time by Johannes. Utah Valley, Seattle, New Mexico State, Utah Tech, CBU, and GCU. 6 participants in the WAC tournament this year. Summit taken out. That was McNeese. McNeese trying to get a little bit more involved. Summit took a big bump from Loma McNeese. Kind of bowled over. Summit's tough. Shakes it off. It's a dangerous ball for New Mexico State, but great defense from Heinen. Marietta has to walk a tightrope. Can't keep it in play. Played back across by Hammock. After an initial surge by New Mexico State, things have kind of calmed down a little bit. Garcia. An outside shot right to Schumacher. Well, McNeese, another shot. Noah Schumacher in perfect position to make that save. McNeese now with 3 shots. Goal for. Here comes Seoul. Marietta just had a few touches already. Good read by Summit. Play to the open wing. And stabbed out. Maya Gonzalez just calms things down. Gordon, 1 career goal. The graduate student defender. Game against Chicago State. Sardon goes to work against Beerworth. And the whistle on Sardon. Sophia Beerworth called her name a lot tonight. I'll leave the kick to Gottschalk. Oren White, who starts the second half, intercepts. Coming off a 2-goal game against Sam Houston. Gordon with all kinds of speed. Coronado upended. Cleared away by Schultz. Summit steps in the way. Stoll. Bit of a double team on her. And picked up by Ramirez. White hustles over to keep the play alive. White, oh, nice move. And a shot off of Chavarria. And the Lancers earn themselves a corner kick. Just their second of the match. Coronado's going to take it. New Mexico State looks to win their second ever game against the Lancers. Headed away by German. Gordon. That's wide. Daniela Gordon, never a bad idea to put it on the cage. Just missed the far post. The header is won by Ramirez. I think the Lancers can make something of it. Deflects. Looked like that wasn't going to be much. What a strip by Beerworth. And Gordon fights hard to get the ball back. Plays back to Summit. And Summit's cross. White the header just wide. Lauren White that close to giving the Lancers the lead back. Danielle Gordon made that happen with her dogged determination and a nice pass by Summit as well. Bit of an errant goal kick, Coronado, and just gives it away to Williams. Lancers could have made a better play there. Ray plays back across the stripe. It'll be a throw in for New Mexico State. The Aggies look to counter. Soul gets back to clear it out. Soul, the red shirt senior. Rancho Cucamonga native. Gottschalk's gonna play it back. Header from Williams goes straight up in the air. Sardone wraps up Schultz. The play continues. Both teams having trouble getting through midfield. That's to the credit of the Aggies and Lancers defense. Johannes taps to the wing. Now Hammock, but she's rejected. Here comes White. That pass goes off of Sardone. And last touched by the Aggies. This second half is for third place. Utah Tech is lost. New Mexico State just needs a point. The Lancers need a win. Substitution. Kaylee Hauk comes back in as well as Elizabeth Oglesby as White checks out. It might be Coronado, the other, to exit. Indeed. Oglesby, the goal scorer, back in for White, and Hauk replaces Coronado. Hauk's had a good match.
Also in the game, number 42, Oglesby.
Hauk couldn't track it down. Another throw-in for Danielle Gordon. Ramirez. Summit back to Gordon. Gordon, what a job to keep that ball alive. Played back by Gonzalez. It's just real tough for both teams to mount any kind of attack right now. Got Schulk way out to grab it. Hauk taken out. A foul on Beersworth. Hauk's hit the turf a couple of times tonight. Again, takes one for the team. Sophia Beerworth. A little bit too aggressive. Summit's play. Ramirez shot gobbled up by Gottschalk. Taylor Summit, another good strike. Leads to a scoring chance. The Lancers are starting to get a little bit more offense. Shots are 12-10 in favor of the Aggies. Hauk picks up the loose ball. Williams gets there ahead of Serdon. And makes the prudent play. Castro checks back in for the Lancers. Valenti and Chacon are in for New Mexico State. Well, Castro played 17 minutes in the first half. Ramirez, a well-deserved break. Hauk plays it off of Williams for a corner. So far, 2 of the 3 corners in the second half have gone to the Lancers. Already one of our second half changes coming to fruition. Serdon goes the short route. Serdon is upended by Chacon. Good chance for the Lancers here. About halfway to the side of the box. And Serdon's going to take it. Gordon sees something. And off the side of the cage. Serdon tried to catch McKenna Gottschalk napping. Not to be. The Lancers have had the better of the play so far in the second half. The 63rd minute. Oglesby, then Edgar. Just a couple of minutes apart, late in the first half. Those are the 2 goals. Valenti closed in on by Heinen. Just sees the pitch so well. Jana Heinen knew right when to pinch up on Valenti. Meanwhile, 2-on-3 for the Lancers. And out of the reach of Hauk. Credit Beerworth again. Able to read that pass from Oglesby. Nice job to work into the middle. Once again, the Aggie defense equal to the task, and Beerworth. The Lancers keep attacking. That one out of the reach of Oglesby. Serdon makes Gottschalk gobble up the ball. Marietta the header. Summit back from where it came, off of Ray. We go back to the same story. Mexico State can't advance it past the center line. Marietta steps in the open lane. Her shot wide. Marietta was looking near post, just off the mark. Summer Allen checks in, as well as Carly Weeks. Both players come in for the second time. Allen 7 minutes, Weeks 22 minutes of playing time, coming off the bench in the first half. Meanwhile, Megan Ormson checks in for Johannes. Ormson back in again. She's played about 38 minutes so far. Brooks is also going to come in soon. Ball deflects to Valenti. Ray relieves the pressure. And Schumacher scoops it up. .50-50 ball. Schultz wins the battle against Serdon. McNeese one-on-one with Heinen. What a matchup this is. McNeese able to walk around Heinen, and she draws a foul. Well, Heinen a bit frustrated. That's a big-time matchup. The leading scorer for New Mexico State, and arguably the Lancers' best defender over the last week. McNeese wins that battle. Chacon takes the free kick. This is a real good chance for the Aggies. She goes right forward, and it goes in. Bianca Chacon gives New Mexico State their first lead at the 68-minute mark. What a strike by Chacon, and it might have been headed in. And the ball definitely changed direction. So the foul comes back to bite the Lancers this time. Remember, that's how CBU scored off of a foul. As they bring in Brooks. Heinen consoled by Schumacher. Unfortunate for the Lancers defender. They give it to Schultz. So Schultz did get her head on it. That's her second goal of the season for the sophomore midfielder. Assisted by, of course, Chacon. So it's dig deep time for the Lancers. Brooks came in for Serdon. And has quieted the crowd here at the CBU Soccer Stadium. Nice steal. Soul. An area pass. And got Schulk out to take out Oglesby. Oglesby could have had her second. Terrific play by Gottschalk. So if this result holds, New Mexico State would be the 3 seed. The Lancers would be the 5 seed, depending on what Grand Canyon does tonight. So the Lancers could finish no higher than 5th. Possibly could be the bottom seed and have to play New Mexico State in the first round. That would set up a rematch right away if Grand Canyon does win tonight and the Lancers can't come back. Summit hustles over, but it's a foul on CBU. Headed forward by Chacon. Chacon again. Angled off by Ray. Beerworth plays it ahead. So Schultz, who just scored. Meanwhile, Chacon is shaken up behind the play. It's a shoulder injury. Or maybe a wrist injury, actually. But it's not too serious. She's going to have to come out. Maya Gonzalez replaces her. Chicano's had a great game tonight for New Mexico State. Just picked up an assist. Going to be helped off the pitch. Brooks, fresh in the game. That deflects to Weeks. That's stabbed away by Chavarria. Chavarria saved a scoring chance. Summit hustles back and plays to Schumacher. He quickly gets it ahead. Schultz right there. Gonzalez, who just came in as the ball pinballs around. Schultz. Bodied down by Ray. Mexico State still with it. McNeese to Schultz. Heinen clears it back. And Soul takes. Soul's got Hauk, gives it to her. And that's going to be a tough play. It is still live, but Mexico State clears it out of harm's way. Gordon checks in, as well as Blakely Edgar, the first goal scorer for New Mexico State. Well, Hauk did all she could, kind of toe picked, trying to keep that ball in. But Gordon back in for the throw-in. And Ramirez also comes in to replace Ray. Brooks dishes off Weeks. Her shot is just high and wide. Now McNeese takes a seat for Edgar. And McNeese hasn't been too visible tonight. Good strike from Weeks. Just got a little bit underneath it. Foul on the Lancers. Ramirez, the guilty party. Heinen clears it away. And Chavarria just watches that go out. Ball bounces to Castro. So it just keeps going back and forth. But now potentially a break for Hauk. Just needs a little bit of help. And Hauk taken out by Chavarria. A big time trip on Kaylee Hauk. She's able to stick it out. As Heinen jumped up for it, she was fouled. Lancers try and make something out of this free kick. It's played right to the defender, Valenti. There's not much going on for the Lancers offensively. 75th minute, still time. Nice short pass. And Brooks is pickpocketed by Chavarria. Another throw-in. Trio check-in for the Lancers. Gordon, Soul, and Murrieta. Or check that White, beg your pardon. A White, Soul, and Murrieta. And Coronado also comes in. So 4 changes for CBU. Looking for some energy. Lauren White coming off that 2-goal match against Sam Houston. Lancers look to feed her, obviously. Summit, headed by Schultz. And Chavarria clears. Heinen pressures Edgar. Last touch by Heinen. Another good strike from Summit, but the Lancers can't do anything with it. White picks it up. White across. Doesn't connect. And Gottschalk comes out to get it before Oglesby can. Actually, that was Soul. Soul was on the doorstep. And Gottschalk had to come out to get it. White again. And it was last touched by White. A break for New Mexico State. Soul runs into Ormson. Heinen back first, has one choice to get it to Schumacher. And there'll be another throw-in, this time for CBU. McKenna Ray checks back in. Injured Lancer. That is Heinen. Heinen jumped up to head it. Fortunately got the worst end of it. against Edgar. That's certainly a foul on Edgar. The Lancers struck first in the 42nd minute. Oglesby got her own rebound, but then just a couple of minutes later in the 45th minute, Blakely Edgar converted on a corner kick. Here in the second half, New Mexico State got the lead in the 68th minute. A goal from Brooke Schultz on a header. And that was after a foul. The Lancers' goal came right off a free kick, and New Mexico State's second goal also came off a free kick. As Allen has to come back in right away to replace Heinen. New Mexico State trying to hang on to clinch third place. Here's a chance for the Lancers, but it's punched over by Gottschalk. Lancers' best look in a little while. Danielle Gordon, what a pass. Lancers that close to connecting. Well, of course, they get a corner out of it. The Lancers have had 3 of the 4 corner kicks in this second half. Well, the tables have turned. Lancers can't do anything with that. Allen couldn't handle it. Ray back ahead. Settled by Edgar. Ball comes free to Valenti, but Gordon steps in the open lane. Coronado. Excellent tackle from Beerworth. Beerworth single-handedly stops that Lancer rally as the ball goes into the stands. Time is starting to become a little bit of a factor. White settles it down. She needs a little bit of help now. Taps back to Soul. Important play there to maintain possession. The Aggies take it away. No credit Garcia that time. Beerworth starts ahead. Oglesby, a little tug on her. The play continues. Gonzalez. Her cross is headed out of harm's way. Oglesby picks it up. Nice take from Ramirez. That was not an easy ball to handle. Soul. And I shanked that shot off the outside of the foot. Another substitution as Castro comes back in. Shots are now 15-13 in favor of the Lancers. They have done better in this second half of getting more opportunities on Gottschalk. 3 saves now for Gottschalk, 6 for Schumacher. And some changes for New Mexico State, 3 of them. German and McNeese check back in. And McNeese, you know, she's itching to keep her goal streak alive. Also, Johannes comes back in. She's the third fresh player. Gonzalez. Gordon, nice job to disrupt that pass. Summit plays it through the legs to Gordon. She's caught by Beerworth. Both teams got to dig deep. Some players that have played some major minutes tonight, Danielle Gordon being one of them. The Lancers desperately trying to get the equalizer. McNeese. Once again, Beerworth. Ray steps up to disrupt that pass. Played further by German. And a white high in the air, settled by Valenti. Valenti takes the shot. Schumacher's there. Not a bad play. Nice, make the Lancers go the length of the pitch. '85th minute now. Castro finds Ramirez. White's pass, headed away by Williams. And Ramirez and Williams collide. Corner kick for CBU. Corners now even, 5 apiece. Played away by Chavarria. Not much on that opportunity by the Lancers. And they whistle it down. Well, Allen involved there as well as Soul. Free kick just at the top of the box. As Kristen St. Clair was arguing for a penalty kick on that one. It certainly seemed to be in the box. With the referee rules, it was just outside. Valenti fouled Allen. But a primo spot. Looks to be Coronado. He shoots over top. Little Soul to an open patch of grass, but unfortunately Coronado couldn't put it on the cage as Serdon comes back in. Ray lets it go out. Quick throw-in. Lancers need to be, well, now that goes the other way. Lancers need to be a little bit more aggressive now. Another throw-in. GCU has beaten Sam Houston 6-0. So GCU now with 19 points. The Lancers have the 6th seed right now. We'll see how this one plays out. Coronado tries for White, but no sale. Soul tries her best to head it forward. McNeese, Gordon pressures her. McNeese able to play back to Beerworth. Another throw in for Gordon. And a play, but wide. Well, Oglesby is looking for her second. Ramirez put it in a good spot. Oglesby couldn't connect on it. We're in the 90th minute. Cleared away by Beerworth. It's close. Gottschalk gets her hand on it. Potentially the last chance here. Lancers are hustling. And again, the Lancers that close to depositing it in the top of the cage. White the header, but not the way she wanted it. Chavarria out to midfield. We'll see if this has enough steam to get out. It does not. Schumacher again. As the Lancers have an injured player. Time stopped at 15 seconds. Well, the Lancers had their chance off the corner. And just inches away from getting the equalizer. Lancer's gonna have to force a quick turnover here to have any kind of chance. Meanwhile, Nalia Dunlap replaces Ray. Her first appearance tonight. It's going to be tough to get a turnover, but not impossible. Williams headed forward. The Lancers do get that turnover. Well, White couldn't shoot. Summit played back into Lancer territory by German, and New Mexico State comes from behind to take the regular season finale 2-1. What a match. Full marks to both teams. They gutted it out tonight. But New Mexico State with the win. They now have 23 points. They lock down the number 3.